Jordan today with the top 10 defenses BYU football will face in 2020. Take it away, Jarom.
Hit it again.
10 lists in 10 weeks. It's Jarom 10 and 10.
Defenses not listed: Northern Illinois and North Alabama.
Shocker.
Number 10, Utah State. The Aggies were ranked 100 plus in FBS in rushing yards and total yards allowed last year. Machine-like tackler David Woodward missed a bunch of the season and is gone. Tipa Naliai, one of the leaders in sacks and TFLs, is also gone. Shaq Bond leads the secondary at safety. Nick Henninger had 9.5 tackles for loss. Troy Leffridge Jr. had 104 tackles at safety. He's playing linebacker now.
All right, the Aggies, solidly a 10?
Number 9, Houston. This was one of the worst units in the nation last year. Bottom 20 in points and yards allowed. No bueno. So why are they higher than Utah State? Nickel Grant Stewart had a team-high 97 tackles. He's moving to linebacker. Here's why. 4 Power 5 transfers are eligible after transferring in the secondary. So they think they're going to have this injection of talent.
Okay, I'm still trying to figure out why ESPN thinks that Houston is a favorite in Provo.
Because BYU's won 7 games last 2 years. I don't know. Number 8, Stanford. Cardinal were 9th worst in passing defense nationally, bottom 40 in yards allowed. 3 good players entered the transfer portal, including backer Andrew Pritz, the leading tackler last season. Cornerback Paulson Adebo could have gone to the NFL. He's returning to the farm after back-to-back first-team All-Pac-12 seasons. But this team has some talent, but I have them number 8.
Wow, I'm shocked by that. A little bit low for usually tough-nosed Stanford defense.
It's not the same Stanford right now. Number 7, Michigan State. The past 3 seasons, the Spartans have been top 20 in yards allowed under DC Mike Tressel, yet Tressel, under new head coach Mel Tucker, isn't the DC. He's the safety coach. Scotty Hazelton is the new DC from Kansas State. Only 3 returning starters. Defensive tackle Naquan Jones has NFL talent, and safety Xavier Henderson will be an all-conference candidate.
This is fair because Michigan State is dealing with the coaching turnover, and it just takes a while to get adjusted to all of those new schemes.
They had a good defense, but they lost a lot of guys. Number 5, Arizona State. 8 starters are back from a top 35 defense in points and rushing last year. In fact, that rush defense was better than Alabama, Texas, and Washington, perhaps because a lot of Pac-12 teams pass. The Sun Devils allowed 6 plays of 50-plus last year, 8th in FBS, second most forced fumbles per game in the country. They're changing from a 3-3-5 to a 4-3. And it does help that the co-DCs are former NFL coach Marvin Lewis and NFL player Antonio Pierce.
Minnesota is probably the best team overall on BYU's schedule this year, at least I think. If the defense is number 6, I think the Cougars have a shot, Jarom.
I think I just read 5 for Arizona State. So let's go backwards to number 6, which we're showing right now. My apologies. 5 of the top 6 tacklers for Minnesota at number 6 are gone, including second-round pick Antoine Winfield Jr. 5 starters returned from a top 10 defense in total and passing yards. Leading tackler Jordan Howden runs a talented secondary. Defensive lineman Micah Treadway anchor a line that allowed 122 rush yards a game. So there's Minnesota.
Okay, the thing in common here, BYU plays all of these teams on their home fields.
Yes. To number 5, I already talked about Arizona State. They have some really quality players, as I mentioned. Really good rush defense, NFL experience at number 5 for Arizona State. So let's skip ahead to number 4 now.
All right.
Number 4, Boise State. Lots to replace here, including Curtis Weaver, the all-time leading tackler in Mountain West history. Dimitri Washington is his replacement. He had 4 sacks in the last 5 games. Broncos were top 35 in points and yards allowed. Avery Williams had 4 career picks and 4 forced fumbles at cornerback. He's a leader back there. Leading tackler Ryan Wimpy is back as well.
Boise State, I am hoping, is a top 25 team, and BYU goes up to the Blue and wins there for the first time against the Broncos on the Blue.
Exactly. And Boise State, I think, is going to be really good. They have to replace some good guys, but their schedule shapes out to be really nice.
They're in position
7 home games.
They're in position to run the table again.
Number 3 in best defenses BYU will face this fall, San Diego State. This was a top 5 defense in 2019. Second in points and rushing yards, 5th in total yards, second in 3 and outs to Clemson. 7 returning starters. So they lost some key pieces, but 7 of that top 5 defense are back.
NFL guys.
Lukeman Barku led the nation with 9 picks. He's gone. 3 all-league players gone. But the 7 that are return are good. Tarek Thompson, Darren Hall, Cameron Thomas. The defense is the calling card for the Aztecs now. Remember, Rocky Long is gone. He's the DC at New Mexico. Brady Hoke was the D-line coach. He's the head coach. He's a defensive-minded guy. They won't be in the top 5, but I think they'll be top 35.
Wow, number 3 on this list. I'm a little hesitant here just because they were so good, especially in the secondary. and Rocky Long's not there. I think he was a big part of why San Diego State was so good. No offense to Brady Hoke, or maybe that is offense to Brady Hoke.
Well, defense to Brady Hoke, right? Number 2, Utah. The Utes produced 6 NFL draft picks from its defense, plus some free agents. They lost 9 total starters. So why are they number 2 here?
Good question.
Because I just think they're always good on defense, right? They are. They were top 6 in points and yards. Incoming defensive back Clark Phillips III is the highest-rated Ute recruit ever. Lots of questions to answer, but Utah has typically produced, especially on this side of the ball. Leading tackler Devin Lloyd returns.
Monster.
Question, will Morgan Scalley be the defensive coordinator? He's on, he's suspended indefinitely. They haven't fired him. I'm guessing he will be if they haven't fired him yet, but that's a major question mark here because he's been a good DC the last several years.
Yeah, everything points to the Utes retaining him and keeping him as the defensive coordinator based on the recent reports.
And the top defense that BYU will face in 2020 is Missouri. The Tigers went 6-6, but it wasn't because of the defense. Ranked 6th in passing defense, 16th in points, 14th in yards allowed, a 4-2-5 version of the nickel. They ranked 4th in defensive efficiency. Linebacker Nick Bolton was Pro Football Focus's best Power 5 rated linebacker, and his 107 regular season tackles led the SEC. That was a shocker in my research that Missouri is the best team.
Yeah, bring it in Provo. Zach Wilson, I'm thinking this is a game that BYU is going to win based on where and when it happens, if it happens.
If it happens, let's go.